Today, I have a story for you. This is November 12th, I think, 2022, and deer season just started. And just kind of casually, a couple days ago, or just yesterday actually, Jared said, oh yeah, I heard there's this thing in Missouri where online you can do this hunter safety course and then be ready to hunt. And immediately I thought, challenge accepted. So I spent the better part of yesterday with the kids doing this hunter safety, learning a lot of things. Today, this morning, Sunday, I embarked on my first ever deer hunting expedition. But things definitely didn't go as I had expected. So the morning started at about 5:30. We wanted to be ready at 6:05 because we could start hunting 30 minutes before sunrise, which was 6:35, give or take a minute or two. And Jared was kind enough to come with me. So it started out an early morning with lots and lots of blaze orange. Right out the gate, and by the gate I mean the door, things did not go as planned. So I come out here on the walkway and I look over here towards the chickens. And I couldn't believe it. This fence, this black one, was kind of folded in a little bit of a circle, and almost all of my brand new baby chicks, which are, I don't know, 7, 8 weeks old at this point, were huddled together in it. They were supposed to be inside the coop. The run door was locked. The door to the coop was shut and locked. I think when we let them out to free range yesterday, we didn't let them back in, or the automatic door shut before they got back in. I don't know what happened, but I think they were out all night. And the amazing thing is, I think all of them survived. Okay, chickens, be free. So that started adventure number 1 of kind of quickly picking up all these chicks and putting them back into the coop, opening this super loud door with this metal lock on it, and I'm thinking, oh great, this is a wonderful start. So at this point I was thinking, at least I'm giving it a try. So now that I'm looking again, I think I'm missing one. There's the 2 little ones and I see 8 of the bigger ones, but there should be 9. So that was the mini adventure number 1, and so the house is over here and I'm walking towards the barn, which is actually where I hunted out of today. But the second little mini adventure was that while I was walking out here, I heard our cat meowing a little bit. I thought, okay, fine, the cat's gonna come, no big deal. So we get out here to the barn, and I make my way up here into the loft. Once up here, we kind of set up camp. So we brought this stool to look out that side, and we brought this little stool to look out that side. And then the cat that I had heard meowing jumped up here into the barn as well. And I realized, oh, this is not my cat. So we had a stray cat show up to our property a week or 2 ago, and that was the cat that followed me up here. And the thing about this cat is we have been feeding her. We're gonna try to rehome her or take her to a shelter pretty soon. But she meows constantly if you don't give her food. So she was just meowing, meow, 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 meow. And then to make matters even more interesting, our cat came over, which does not get along with the stray cat. And so they were growling at each other, and it was just like, oh my goodness, is this how this whole morning is gonna be? Just listening to these cats growl at each other or meow? So then I just went back and forth between looking out here with the binoculars and quietly getting down and coming and looking out here, keeping an eye out for deer, listening, being attuned to any little sound. And Jared ended up going up to this high spot up here. So we got started around 6:05, 6:10, something like that. And around 7, I heard more chirping over there because I had gotten most of the chicks, but I had missed one. And so I just thought, okay, well, I better go check on them. So I told Jared, I'm going to go check on the chicks. And so again, I'm thinking, I'm walking back and forth across our property and making more noise. There was snow on the ground, which is melted now, but I was just thinking, oh, there's no way I'm gonna get one today. But at least I tried. So I went back, I found another chick that I put back into the coop, came out here again. And I think it was around 7:40, 7:45 that I was up here on this side of the barn, looking out here, and I actually saw a deer. So at this point I was thinking, at least I saw one. I heard something moving around and I looked out and it was down. There was a deer walking. So all morning I had been just practicing getting my rifle up and quietly getting off safety. And with the safety on, I was just kind of practicing underneath the trigger guard, just doing a complete pull after doing a deep breath in and halfway on my breath out, like I learned in hunter safety. This was it. And this was actually a real deer. It appeared to be heading towards the pasture out here. So at this point, you know, Jared's still up there looking out that way. And so I kind of whispered to him, Jared, I see one. Sure, I thought, well, maybe I could go next to the barn and get a clear shot. Maybe. So then I went back down the ladder. And Jared carefully handed me down my rifle that was on safety. And ever so slowly, I crept along this side of the barn. And then when I got to the corner here, I crept around and I looked, and sure enough, he was heading across the pasture. I haven't felt so much adrenaline in a long time. At this point, the adrenaline was just pumping. And so I slowly crept down here. And he would stop and look and then take a couple steps and stop. And with every step, I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna run away. Oh, he's gonna run away. But I had to move because there was no clear line of fire here. But I finally made my way over here to these leaves. So then through here, I had this clear line of vision to him. So I try to take some deep breaths. My adrenaline is racing. I take the safety off carefully. I get him in my scope, and I don't go shooting that often, and I haven't used a rifle probably since July. And I fire. I totally missed him. But he actually didn't completely bolt. He just went a little bit further along in the pasture. So instead of seeing him over here, this time I saw him through here. So at this point, I'm thinking, at least I got a shot off. But I get my rifle ready again, I sight him in, and I try to fire. And I realized I hadn't loaded a new cartridge into the barrel yet. So I realized, oh no. So I pull back the lever, the shell pops out, I get the new cartridge loaded in, and I get him in my sights again, and I shoot, and my ears are ringing, and I see him drop. What? And I didn't even wait to see if he got back up or anything. There was so much adrenaline, so much just raw excitement. I just immediately start going back this way to find Jared. And I was like, Jared, I got it. And Jared was actually up here. He had peeked through the very top of the barn, way up there, and he actually saw the buck drop. So I walk this way back towards Jared, and he gets down, and we head out to the pasture to find this buck. Whew, made it out here. So this is where we found him, and he wasn't quite dead yet, so we did finish him off right away. So I fired from right against the barn over there. Jared's guessing it was maybe 100 yards or so. Oh, here comes Bubba. So I got my first ever deer. Woohoo! I'm so thankful. But that's not quite where the story ends, because as we were looking at this buck, I didn't see any holes. There was no gunshot wound on his hindquarters, on his front. We didn't see anything on his head, and it was so weird. I thought, how did I kill this deer? Did I just scare him to death? Well, no, but it took until after we skinned it to realize what happened. In the meantime, Jared was very kind and generous to drag this buck across the field for me so that I could go inside and tag it. So I called in, tagged it, and we took it back up to the barn to hang it up. So this whole time, I'm just feeling so thankful. As you know, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, I want to work towards raising a whole bunch of our own meat as healthily and sustainably as possible. And what better way than hunting? I mean, I didn't have to raise this deer. I didn't have to feed this deer. I didn't have to take care of it. It just came onto our property, and all I had to do was purchase a permit and was able to harvest it. And I had actually been praying that the Lord would help me get a deer, and he did, and so I'm just so thankful. So we brought him up here, and he's actually hanging here now, and I'm gonna avoid showing him just so that YouTube doesn't flag this video. But there was another little mini adventure. At this point, it was 9 o'clock or so. And we had just kind of thought, okay, we'll stay home from church today. But a couple of the kids were really upset about that. And, you know, we were like, okay, well, we're glad that you like to go to church. So Jared decided to take a couple of them to church. We were able to gut the deer. Jared helped me with that. And, whew, kind of winded. But he was going to go ahead and leave and take the kids to church. So that meant that I needed to go ahead and skin this deer, which I had seen Jared do before by myself and hoist it up by myself, because we don't have a gamble yet where you spread the legs out and it's got like a triangle to... Anyway, we don't have one of those yet. So the next mini adventure was setting up my pulley system that I used with the swarm traps, and I went ahead and was able to get him hoisted up there and skinned. And then after it was skinned, we were able to confirm Jared's suspicions about how he dropped so quickly looking at this pelt and why I didn't see any holes when I was first out in the field with him. So I'm about to show you this deer pelt. If you would rather not see a dead deer's pelt, you might want to skip this part of the video or not watch it, but here is his pelt. So no holes in his hide or in his side. But this is where the holes were, up here by his neck. So because of the fact that he just dropped and he didn't run any distance like it often happens, even if you puncture their lungs or their heart, as Jared told me, I must have just happened to get his spinal cord, because he was down right away and never got back up. So that is not excellent marksmanship on my part, but I didn't have to chase him down, which was such a blessing. So as you can imagine, Jared and I are both really tired and the kids are not. So we're gonna try to go get some quiet time in together, or some playtime and a nap maybe. But then we're gonna see how much meat I was able to get from this deer. Now, if I don't include the amount in this video, I'll put it in a short later on so you know exactly how much we got. But I'm so thankful. I'm thankful to the Lord. I'm so thankful to Jared. I don't think I could have done this without him. He was so helpful and supportive. And I got my first deer on my first day of deer hunting ever. Awesome.